Today I'm going to share with you my innovative project for use of technology. First, I want to talk about what I did, um, the search I did to find innovative technology to use within my classroom. What I chose to focus on was the flipped classroom idea, the flipped classroom style, method, model. I started by looking at different references. I started with a review of flipped learning, an article I found on flippedlearning.org. It talked about how flipped classrooms could do, what could offer the classes. It flipped classrooms or the flipped classroom style of learning offers many different things, and it really depends on the classroom and the teacher. If the teacher is using technology one-to-one devices, or within the school PCs, or even at home, which is really what I focus on. I also looked into the beginning of a flipped classroom. I personally have not flipped my classroom yet. My hope is to flip the classroom next year using the Engage New York math curriculum. One concept I was told about while talking to other colleagues and other teachers who have tried flipped classrooms is definitely start small and definitely start with one subject. So I chose math. Currently I teach 5th grade math and then in 5th grade writing and reading. Because we have adopted this new transition curriculum, I felt like Engage New York, the way that what I've been piloting so far, would definitely be a benefit for students if I was able to make those videos that they can use at home. When we talk about those videos, the point of it, the procedure of the whole project, is that the teacher is responsible to plan, produce, and reflect on specific learning strategies that are taught through a screencast video. So I make a video for each lesson, and instead of students taking homework home on a worksheet on a piece of paper in their book, they are actually watching a video and practicing with a video. But this video is not just on a DVD or online, but it can be found it can be found online. It can be played over and over at the leisure of the student, at the leisure of the parent. Recently, I've had parents ask me about this Engage New York curriculum and what am I teaching them and what are the strategies that their students are learning. And I found that even though I am very willing to take the time for this the parent to come in, sometimes the parents can't come in. So using the flipped classroom model would allow for the parents to watch the videos themselves and learn from the videos. So I'm going to take you into then my creation of my lessons. So again, I chose to produce 2 flipped classroom videos for this project. Our building has recently adopted Engage New York as our new math curriculum transition for next year. As I piloted this marking period, I find that it works very well with my plan for flipping my math classroom next year. It has been found that the process of flipping the classroom can produce more engagement and allows students to develop their own learning at their own pace. I am finding Engage New York to be a very classroom enhancing curriculum. I am finding students who want to raise their hand, and I can just imagine if these students learn some of the stuff at home or at least on their own and then bring it back and become the experts, how much more we're going to get out of our day-to-day classes. So I'm going to start with lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 really is just teaching about a tape diagram and how to use it to model fractions as division. So I taped this. I made this video. The technology I used for it were a document camera. Previously I had used videotaping myself teaching the lesson, and I am very uncomfortable in front of the screen. But to teach with my hands and a whiteboard and a marker, and all you hear is my voice, is much easier. I did use the Camtasia software. I had purchased it for my computer, and we're using it to produce this film. I have a couple hiccups where the sound system didn't work really well. So the first video happens to only be 1.5 minutes long. My plan is for videos to take about 5 minutes, allowing for the student to see the strategy, hear about the strategy, and then practice the strategy with me or my hands. In order for them to do this, they would have to be able to have access to the internet or access to a DVD player. I know I come from I teach in a very rural school district, so having access to the internet is usually not able to happen. But many of my students have access to something that plays a DVD, whether it be their play systems or it be a DVD player. Though there are always going to be those students who can't do any of that, and we will have to work on what we can do with them. Right now, my idea is if a student isn't able to view the lesson, they would then take some time. They would go view the lesson on their own while I work with a small group who's already viewed the lesson. And then when they're ready, they would come in, we would bring them back into the classroom, and then I'd be able to work with them as a small group as well. The whole idea of the flipped classroom is being able to work more one-on-one with your students and using the curriculum, using the strategies, and using it at their pace. You're going to have some students who get the idea right away and move on. You're going to have some students who get the idea but still need the practice. And then you're going to get some students who don't really still get it and are going to need a little bit more one-on-one. Flipping the classroom, allowing for my higher level students to just push on, is going to allow me to do that. More in the workshop stage. Right now, our school does not have one-to-one devices. My hope and my plan is to find a way to get a grant or get some support so that I can at least start with some one-to-one devices that stay in the classroom, but then my higher level students can go ahead and move on if we're in stations. Or my lower level students who don't have access can learn right there while I'm watching over their shoulder or answering any questions. As we move on, my second lesson is also a part of the Engage New York, and this was lesson 7 of module 4. A little bit longer. Again, I had some volume issues, but I really wanted to complete it. And what it was taking the previous lesson about tape diagrams and multiplying any whole number by a fraction. So allowing them to see the question, see the problem being asked, and then be able to use it. Same skills are needed here. Same technology is needed here. I found that making these videos allowed me to teach the strategy without being interrupted, so that when it comes to actually showing it to them, I can show it to them in the classroom, answer a few questions after the film, and then be able to split them up and have them move on and practice at their own levels. So again, the possibilities of this, some things I wanted to point out. Some possibilities of this is because the videos are YouTubed or the videos are published, I can share them with other teachers. I did find that some of the teachers in our building, as they look through their Engage New York curriculum, they're also learning tape diagrams. So hopefully one of my videos is something they can also use in order to help their students. Even if they're not flipping their classroom, they could at least use it and maybe send it home with their parents. Speaking of sending it home with their parents, a final thing I found final thing I found to do with my students, and I'm actually doing it right now, is to really take full access of our classroom homepages. So this is my classroom homepage. And again, this would be where next year I would post my videos, and I would have it along here where my Engage New York lessons would be. But right now I do have a resource page, and on this resource page I have tons of resources. Now again, I told you, right now I teach math, so I have a lot of resource math games. But this is where my students are able to find interactives. Parents are able to find lessons. They're able to work on their typing skills, which we do. Find academic skills. Now I have all of these math games. I do have my kids rate and find out if they're really worth putting on here. I know some of them are just for fun, but they really do seem to learn a few things. I also have, we used to use Math Connects. So I even have what we followed at the time here. Luckily, my special ed teacher right now has found a Engage New York website where there are activities they can do online. So hopefully that'll be posted here. But that's really what I wanted to show you. I really look forward to using flipped to producing my flipped classroom. I'm hoping and hoping that it'll work well for me, for my students that are coming in, and then hopefully it's something that I can make a staple in my classroom, something I can share with the rest of my staffers, and maybe then they can take on some part of it or all of it. I really think flipped classrooms are going to start becoming something we see in the future, where students are able to go home, practice it, and then learn it, practice it, and then come back and really find out how to use it so that we're using it in the real world application.